Stop. Don't move. There is a rock on this beach that looks like every other gray stone. Cold and heavy. Nothing special. But shine a $12 ultraviolet flashlight on it, and it explodes in orange fire. I am talking about Yooperlites, the only rock that can turn a midnight shoreline into a treasure field. By the end of this, you will know the ultraviolet flashlight test, the scratch test, and the $2 streak test. 3 ways to separate a $20 stone from a worthless pebble. You will see how a $12 tool from Amazon can reveal what daylight hides, and you will get the exact beaches, the real names, and the prices these stones fetch. Erik Rintamaki did it in 2017. He found 3 glowing stones at 4 in the morning on Lake Superior, turned them into a business, and now sells Yooperlites for up to $500 a piece. That could be you, if you know where to look, what to bring, and how to prove what you have found. But miss one step, and you will walk right past a fortune. Let's set the record straight. I'm not some armchair geologist. I grew up in Antwerp, the diamond capital, where we weigh value in carats, not fairy tales. But I've spent more nights on American beaches than in Belgian boardrooms. Here's what matters. Yooperlites are sienite rocks loaded with fluorescent sodalite. In daylight, they're as plain as gravel. Under 365 nanometer ultraviolet, they burn orange. The science? Sodalite's crystal structure traps sulfur ions. Hit it with the right wavelength, and those ions spit out orange light. These rocks didn't start here. Glaciers dragged them from the Canadian Shield, dumped them on the shores of Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, and, if you know where to look, Lake Huron. The only tool you need is a 365 nanometer ultraviolet flashlight. It should cost $12 to $30, be available on Amazon, rechargeable, and properly filtered. Do not waste your time with 395 nanometer lights. They are too weak, they produce too much purple, and you will miss the glow. Let's get into the hunt. You want specifics? Start with the Keweenaw Peninsula, Agate Beach, McLean State Park, and Eagle River Beach. Grand Marais, Gratiot River County Park, and White City Beach are all proven grounds. On Lake Michigan, try Point Betsy or Fayette Historic State Park. Lake Huron has Harrisville State Park and Rockport State Recreation Area. Every one of these has public access, parking, and a record of real finds. But don't just show up at noon. Wait until it is fully dark. Scout the beach in daylight. Mark the drop-offs, the driftwood, and the slick rocks. When the sun is gone, sweep the ultraviolet beam low and slow. Wet rocks sometimes glow brighter, but check both wet and dry. Change your angle. Sometimes a stone only lights up from one side. Bring extra batteries. A dead flashlight is a dead hunt. Now the tests. First, the ultraviolet flashlight test. You need a true 365 nanometer long-wave ultraviolet flashlight, filtered and rechargeable, costing $12 to $30 on Amazon. TrixHub, Dokbem, Kosus, pick one, but make sure it is filtered. Unfiltered lights drown the glow in a purple haze. Sweep the rocks. Yooperlites will flash orange. Fluorite glows blue or purple. Calcite glows red or orange. Willemite glows green. Scheelite glows blue-white. If it does not glow, move on. Second, the daylight check. Yooperlites look like ordinary gray cyanite, coarse-grained, maybe a few specks, but nothing that screams value. That's the trap. 99 out of 100 people walk right past them. That's why the ultraviolet test comes first. Third, the scratch test. Sodalite, the mineral that makes Yooperlites glow, has a Mohs hardness of 5.5 to 6. Take a steel nail, hardness 5.5, and a piece of glass, hardness 5.5. Try to scratch the stone. If the nail leaves a mark, the stone is softer than 5.5. If the stone scratches glass, the stone is harder. A Yooperlite should scratch glass, but not quartz. No fancy kit is needed, just a nail and a bottle. Fourth, the streak test. Grab a $2 unglazed ceramic tile. Pick one up at any rock shop, or use the bottom of a coffee mug. Drag the stone across the tile. Sodalite leaves a white streak. If you see any color, it is not sodalite. If you see nothing, the stone is too hard or too polished. Try a rougher edge. Let's talk value. Erik Rintamaki's first 3 stones, found in 2017 at Vermilion Beach in Chippewa County, were each the size of a dime. He could not find them in any book. He sent them to Michigan Tech and got confirmation. Syenite with fluorescent sodalite, never before documented in Michigan. He named them Yooperlites, after Yooper, the Upper Peninsula nickname, and light for sodalite. He trademarked the name and started selling stones for $20 to $500, depending on size and glow. His business included tours at $50 a head, ultraviolet flashlights included, and hand-picked stones shipped worldwide. He claims to outsell Amazon in ultraviolet flashlights. That is not hype. That is a man who turned a 4 o'clock in the morning beach walk into a global market. But let's not kid ourselves. For every Rintamaki, there are 100 hunters who find nothing but cold toes and wet jeans. The ODDS are real. Most Yooperlites are small, fist-sized if you are lucky, thumb-sized if you are not. The best stones, intense orange, no cracks, good shape, fetch $50 to $200. The monsters, the ones that light up like a flare, can fetch $500. But those are rare. On eBay, you will see thousands of listings, most close between $10 and $35. Museum shops sell them for $20. Rintamaki's own hand-picked stones sell for $32 a pound, more for the showpieces. The market is steady, not crazy. Social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube keep demand high, but supply is up too. If you want to make money, you need the right stone, the right story, and the right buyer. Now, let's widen the lens. Yooperlites are not the only rocks that glow at night. Fluorite often glows blue or violet under ultraviolet light and forms cubic crystals found in England, Illinois, and China. Calcite can glow red, orange, or green. It fizzes with acid and is reported from New Jersey, Mexico, and Sweden. Aragonite can glow blue or white and sometimes yellow, with strong phosphorescence found in Sicily and Mexico. Willemite is known for an intense green glow, especially from Franklin and Sterling Hill in New Jersey. Scheelite glows blue-white, is heavy because it is a tungsten ore, and is found in China and California. Even opal, specifically hyalite opal, can glow bright green. Each mineral has its own identification tests. Fluorite is relatively soft, shows perfect cleavage, and glows blue. Calcite fizzes with acid and shows a wide color range. Willemite is harder and glows green under shortwave ultraviolet. Scheelite is dense, glows blue-white, and forms tetragonal crystals. Hyalite opal is glassy, glows green, and has low density. Prices vary. Specimens can range from $20 to $500 or more, sometimes higher for rare colors or large pieces. If you want more locations, exact coordinates, field guides, or stones most people overlook, subscribe now. I do not do fluff. I do specifics. Antwerp taught me that. In the diamond trade, you do not get a second chance to spot value. Let's get back to the field. Night hunting is not just about the right tool. It is about timing and safety. Wait for full darkness, no moon, and no streetlights. Bring a headlamp for walking, but keep it off when you are scanning. Wear ultraviolet blocking safety glasses. They cost from $5 to $15 on Amazon or at a hardware store. Never look into the beam. Ultraviolet can burn your eyes, just like a welder's torch. wear gloves, long sleeves, and sunscreen. Ultraviolet burns are real, even at night. Mark your finds with fluorescent tape if you want to come back. If you are breaking rocks, use a hammer and chisel, because fresh surfaces glow brighter. Always check local rules. Michigan allows taking up to 25 pounds of rocks per person per year from public beaches. Do not collect in national parks or protected areas. On private land, get permission or risk a fine. Now specific places and top spots. Agate Beach at Stanton Township Park is public, with parking and a campground, and is a top spot for Yooperlites and agates. McLean State Park has a long, rocky shoreline, campsites, and easy access. Eagle River Beach is less crowded with a continuous coastline near Fitzgerald's Restaurant. Gratiot River County Park at the river mouth is good for rock hunting. Grand Marais Agate Beach is flat with improved access for Yooperlites and agates. Harrisville State Park on Lake Huron has 1 mile of shoreline, ultraviolet flashlights available for loan, and 195 campsites. Rockport State Recreation Area allows rock collecting and is ADA accessible with parking. Fayette Historic State Park on Lake Michigan is rocky and sandy with ADA facilities and has some Yooperlite reports. Point Betsy is a public beach with occasional finds. Each of these places has a record of real stones, real hunters, and real value. Community matters. The fluorescent mineral crowd is global, but its heart is in New Jersey at Sterling Hill and Franklin. There are annual events, mine run dumps, the Rainbow Tunnel, and the Warren Museum of Fluorescence, which draws more than 33,000 visitors a year. Collectors know more than 340 mineral species, and over 70 of those species fluoresce. Willemite and calcite from Franklin show green and red side by side. The best specimens, with intense color, large size, or rare patterns, can fetch $500 or more. The community is tight, with field trips, online forums, and auctions. If you want to learn, go to Sterling Hill. If you want to sell, get your documentation straight, because buyers pay for proof, not just glow. Now the climax. Picture this. July 2017 at Vermilion Beach on Lake Superior. Erik Rintamaki, hands numb, knees in the sand, 4 in the morning. He had been out 3 nights. Nothing but disappointment. On the 4th night, he sweeps the ultraviolet beam and 3 stones, each the size of a dime, light up orange. He yells so loud, the next hunter hears him down the beach. He tries to identify them. Nothing online, nothing in the books. He sends them to Michigan Tech. Months later, the verdict arrives. Cyanite with fluorescent sodalite, never before found in Michigan. He names them Yooperlites, trademarks the name, and starts a business. Now he leads tours, sells stones, and ships them worldwide. That is not luck. That is grit, timing, and knowing what to look for. Here is your practical takeaway. You need a 365 nanometer filtered ultraviolet flashlight, $12 to $30, available online. Bring a steel nail and a piece of glass for the scratch test. Carry a $2 ceramic tile for the streak test. Scout the beach in daylight. Hunt after dark. Sweep slowly, and check both wet and dry rocks. Wear eye protection. Know the rules. 25 pounds per person per year is a common limit, and no collecting in national parks. If you find a stone that glows orange, scratches glass but not quartz, and leaves a white streak, you have a Yooperlite. If it is big, bright, and clean, it could be worth $50, $200, maybe more. But most stones are small. Most hunts come up empty, and the best finds go to those who put in the hours. Final thought. Value hides in plain sight. Antwerp taught me to trust my eyes, but America taught me to trust the night. The only thing between you and a $500 stone is a $12 flashlight and the nerve to look where no one else bothers.